Good morning, my name's John and welcome to Minstead Truss, a walled vegetable garden up at Minstead in the New Forest Day opportunities. Today I'm going to show you a variety of things that we've grown and through the weeks, and I'm just going to plant these up now and show you a few jobs around the place. So the first thing going in is leeks. We grew these from plugs earlier in the season and they're all ready to go into the ground. So we need a dibber, and I've already put a line up just for straightness and tidiness. So we make a dibber hole as deep as we can, pop the leek in, and then there's no need to refill back on that. We leave the leek so it blanches the lovely white bit that you eat in your leek and potato soup. And then I just water it in, like so, and then make another dibber hole. Pop the leek in again, and just settle the roots by pre-watering it. And then it'll just slowly backfill as the season goes on. So I'm just going to leave them for a minute and move on to the next job, which would be to plant sweet corn that are germinated our homemade pots. So they're coming up nice and strong now, so there's no need to take the paper off them. So again, make a nice big dibber hole, keeping plenty of spacing from the next plant that we used, and then pop that in, and then just firm the soil around, and then the paper will rot away. So I'll show you once more. Nice big dibber hole, using an old fork handle actually. Then pop it in and firm around. So those are those jobs done. So what we're going to do, just while we're at this area, I'm just going to show you how to protect your beans. So it's a simple idea of using an old newspaper. As you see from the other night, those were scorched. This should recover, but just in case, if it's wet, the weather's going to be bad, just put a piece of newspaper up against it and firm it in with a bit of soil. So our next job, if you'd like to follow me over this way, I'm going to plant some sweet peas. Now these equally were planted in pots earlier in the season, and what we're going to do, you'll need a climbing frame for them, and here's one that we've already prepared with some netting round, and that's to support the sweet peas. So I just dig a small hole. I mean, you can use your hands or a small trowel for this job. And then take it out of the pot, pop it into the soil and firm it around. And then you will need to water it in, and then they'll climb up and support, and then you'll have sweet peas all season. So if you just bear with me, I'm going to pause the film for a minute and then we're going to go into the greenhouse. Thank you. So hello again. So now we're into the greenhouse at the bottom of the vegetable garden, and I'm just going to show you some basic maintenance on tomatoes that we've been growing in pots. So we planted these as seed earlier on in the season, in March actually, and now they're growing well into pots, and you can grow them in grow bags or pots as we said, and this is just in pots but with general purpose compost. So one of the main tasks to do at the moment is to side shoot, and you'll see on this plant there's a side shoot coming out from the axis of the leaf, and this needs to be removed so it stops the energy going into that plant. You can put that in compost and grow it on as another tomato plant if you're short of plants, but as you can see in here, we're not. And then the other job to do is when you walk past is just to gently tap the stick and that helps self-pollinate the flowers, so to set tomatoes. And at this time of year as well, they need supporting. I'm very fortunate, I have a tape gun. So with my tape gun I can quite easily and very quickly support my tomatoes to the cane. But if you're less fortunate, you need to use string and tie them up the old-fashioned way. Equally, once the first truss is set, as that is, and you can see now there's a second truss slowly setting, they need to be fed now with a liquid feed, and you can get this from any garden centre or supermarkets very cheaply. You don't need to buy the expensive version. And generally it's 1 capful per watering can, and 1 watering can would feed around 9 plants, and that's weekly at the moment. So that's all good. So I'll give you a little tour as we walk through. So we've got at the back, we've got lots of cucumbers, and they're going to be climbing up the net, and they'll mix then with our lovely vines. So we've got some grapes all slowly set in there. So there, all those little flower heads there will all be grapes by the end of the summer. And then as we go this way, we have more tomato plants, all looking well. Don't forget to water them. And then I'll just show you this lovely bird of paradise plant that we just got growing in the greenhouse, and that is doing beautiful. And look at that against the white wall. I mean, that is just going to be outstanding when it comes out, and it just cheers up your day, really. So anyway, I think that's very much all we got for this morning to show you, but we'll be back next week with lots of other growing tips and planting seeds. Thank you very much for watching, and stay safe, stay alert, and wash your hands. Thank you very much.